Well, today we have another promotion clash, this time at home against promotion chasers Watford. Although it's probably a good thing that we're playing them now, because we need to keep our good run going, because the January transfer window is coming up very soon, and I'm kind of nervous that we're going to lose some of our better players. Hello and welcome back to Club 2 episode 6 of Unemployed to Legend. My name is Craig, and coming up in today's episode we have two games in the Championship for you. Home against Watford and also home actually against Millwall. We've been playing quite a few away games recently, so it makes a change to finally be at home. Since you were last with me, we managed to get back to winning ways after the last episodes, those two defeats against Bournemouth and Preston. Thankfully, wins against Middlesbrough, Cardiff, Burnley and Bristol Rovers, either side of a nice little friendly boost. Against Galston, one of our one of our feeder clubs, that's it, one of our feeder clubs well down the English pyramid, and that has currently left us still second in the league, although trying to keep the pressure on Bournemouth, who continually just keep winning anyway. But well, what do you expect from a club who's managed by Mauricio Pochettino? I mean, come on, it's a bit of a cheat code for Bournemouth. The team we're facing today, Watford, have dropped off the pace a little bit, and long may that continue, because a win for us today will put us well ahead of the chasing pack, even further ahead of the chasing pack, to say the least. We're just going to get straight into the game today. There are a few things I want to talk about, but we'll get into the game first of all, and this is going to be our starting lineup for the Watford game. Verbrugge has got Verbruge, I'm still unsure of actually how to pronounce his name. I might learn one day, probably before he goes back after his loan. Verbruge will be in goal. He gets the nod ahead of Backman. In fact, he has the last few games. Kachi is at left back as Valentin. I finally changed his name to what it shows on the screen during the game, so he's now just Valentin. And it is actually Valentin, not Valentine. So Kachi will be at left back because Valentin is just coming back from injury. He can actually be on the bench. I'm inclined to put him on the bench, in all fairness. So, Mavropanos and Mengi is at centre-back. Mengi has played absolutely out of his skin recently. Again, I hope that continues. He's been at centre-back in place of Quaresma, who was suspended for a few games recently. And since then, Mengi's kind of made it his own. And also the fact he's been scoring goals from headers, which is very, very pleasing to see. He's got a couple of goals. That was actually in one game. Against... who was that actually against? I think that was Cardiff. Yeah, scored twice against Cardiff in that 2-1 victory. He's coming along very nicely in his development as well. He's just back up really to Aarons at right back, who starts there today. But at the moment, Mengi's keeping Quaresma out of the team. It's good to have those options, I guess, really, isn't it? Hughes and Downs, actually... I do want Exposito back in. Exposito was also suspended recently. Kind of see the pattern of this team. Hughes and Exposito in central midfield with Willock on the left wing. Cantwell attacking midfield. He's back from injury. Ferdy on the right wing with Balogun as the sole striker. Peter Lynch, by the way. In fact, he can actually come back on to the bench. He's just come back from injury himself. He was out for a few weeks along with Valentin. So we have had a bit of a mixed squad recently. Quite a few players have had to be rotated in and out as a result, and it's kind of benefited the likes of Verbruge, Mengi and Willock the most, as well as Kachi actually. He is getting some game time recently. I just hope his good form continues recently, because before this game it came up in my inbox that I think one of the teams a team came and said that they wanted to buy him in the media. And I just kind of said, no, he's not for sale. Even though I promised him that we'll let him go if a team comes in for a certain amount of money. Oh, Balogun is well inspired and motivated for this one. But unfortunately, Kachi is come up now that he is confused at the promise potentially being broken, and that's not a good sign. Mengi just heading over there from our first highlight of the game. But I just hope it doesn't confuse Kachi to the point he won't perform. And just against the post there from Mavropanos. It's lovely to have... oh, Mengi very close as well. We've got two excellent aerial threats in Mengi and Mavropanos. And the corners are going to be a problem for these guys. And Mavropanos just heads straight into the hands of Butland, who is in the Watford goal. Watford have got some very good players themselves. Some players who've shown up on my scout report. Skov Olsen, for example, has been showing up all season. Masengo the same. So they are players I'm wary of, but at the same time, you know, we can't afford all the best players in this division, as seen from Bournemouth, Watford, West Ham, Brentford. Brentford have recovered well, by the way. They're in the playoffs. We did smack them early in the season. I just thought, no, that's a freak result. Smacking them 6-0 at our ground. And it proved, because they're now in the top 6 in the league. Right, Hughes taking the ball forward here. One problem we are going to have as well in January, apart from the fact Cantwell, Hughes and Aarons are wanted by other clubs. Florin Andone, my backup striker, will not have a work permit because Brexit's involved again. Oh, what a shot by Cantwell. Now, unfortunately, we applied for one because all we needed to do apparently was offer a higher wage, but unfortunately, it's been rejected, the work permit. So Andone will more than likely go out on loan. I don't really want to let him go per se because he's actually done a brilliant job for us so far this season when he's been called upon. And speaking of brilliant jobs, Mavropanos just putting us 1-0 up. Beautiful header. We have been threatening from corners all game. It's like Watford can't really live with us on these corners, like a lot of teams as well. But it's not just Mavropanos now. It is also Mengi is a threat. And that's just adding to the firepower that we have. If we got two who are threats from corners, that's just going to make teams a lot more wary of us at these set pieces. And long may that continue. As for Brugge, I forgot I've put him as a sweeper keeper. It just makes me nervous whenever a keeper does that. Let's be honest, that was a terrible pass back as well. That was not very good, but luckily the save by Verbrugge was very, very good there. It just feels like we do play a possession game a lot, but it just feels like a little bit of, what do you call it, sloppiness from our midfielders sometimes. I hope that wasn't catchy. I didn't see who that was. Good block there by, I believe that was Aarons. But I don't want us to be sloppy per se. Again, especially catchy at left back. He's actually been good for me recently. Good for us recently, more to the point. It's not just all about me here. I'm happy with the performance. Keep it up. I don't really like using those media team talks at the bottom. I feel like they don't do as much as they normally would. It's good for inspiring the lads, but I just feel like it doesn't do as much as it should. Catchy, who is on a booking actually, I've got to be careful of that. Willock, who's played really, really well. He's desperate to score a lot of goals recently. That's got to be a red card, surely. Yep, Lewis Travis sent off for Watford. And they have, my goodness, look at this for a formation. A 4-2-2. Way, a lot of space. One. We've got to take advantage of this at this point. And I'm just considering what changes I could make. Catchy. Let's see. After this highlight, I might make a couple of changes. Or one change, depending. And there is Following Balogun back in the goals. 13 this season. His redemption story in the Championship continues. He's making up for lost time, he is. Didn't play a single game for Arsenal last season. A bit of a miscarriage of justice, if you ask me, because he's certainly better than just being stuck at Arsenal, doing the sum of absolute nothing. 2-0, and hopefully that red card just helps us out. As I'm just now looking at the conditioning of some of our players, especially the likes of Cantwell and Hughes, who get tired very, very quickly. In fact, it's 79 minutes. My goodness, what am I doing? Right. Ferdy is looking a bit complacent. We've had problems with that recently as far as he goes. Right, Hughes is going to come off. Exposito can drop into that deep line playmaker role. Davenport, he hasn't actually played as many games as I thought. As dear old Davenport. I did bring him in to do a job, and he can do the job fairly well. But I think he's more of a squad player. In fact, what have I agreed with him? Regular starter, yikes, he's concerned with the amount of games. We've got a lot of games coming up this month, so chances are he will be starting a few. But he's only started one league game for me so far this season. It is a little disappointing. I think Downs has kind of pushed ahead of him. But overall, I do want to see him start to get more game time. Speaking of game time, Peter Lynch, he's back from injury. Let's give him some time on the right-hand side of the wings. And certainly he has performed better as a right winger, has dear old Lynch, instead of up front recently. Catchy. Exposito. In fact, I might take Catchy off in a bit. We'll have a look after this highlight. Aarons. playing into Lynch. There is Davenport. Unfortunately, he couldn't quite get on the end of that, but we still have the ball here. Aarons into Cantwell. Davenport. Ball is cleared only as far as Exposito. Watford are effectively dropping so deep, giving us a lot of space in the midfield. Catchy. Lynch! Smack! In. Welcome back, Peter Lynch, my wonderful 18-year-old wonder kid. Back in the goals. I believe that's his ninth in the season. I say only his ninth. The man's 18 years old. He's more consistent than most 18-year-olds, for goodness sake. Right, we are going to make a change. It is going to be Catchy coming off. Valentin can come on and get some game time. Let's have a look. No one else at the moment. So let's just ease things off just a little bit. There's no need to go completely mad. Lower the attacking line just a little bit, just to give us some breathing space. Just scrunch up the midfield a little bit more. Right, we have a free kick at the edge of the area. Who is taking this? It is Peter Lynch. He has been working on free kicks recently. On cue, Peter Lynch, 2 goals on his comeback, and the man's only been on the pitch for, what, 10 minutes? He's going to be an absolute worldie when he grows up, as he gets older. The man's 18 years old. Still, though, very, very happy. Let's just lower the play, lower down the tempo a little bit. Just rest some of these players. And that is a well-deserved victory. 3-0. And we have absolutely walloped Watford on this one. And that should put us 15 points ahead of Watford. Charlton and Brentford go above them. Like I said, Brentford recovered very well. But that is a big result. In fact, Bournemouth plays. How did they do? They lost. Well, they lost to Burnley. That is quite a surprise. It's a nice little surprise. But coming up in the next game, we have Millwall at home. Here is hoping we continue the good job we've done so far. A few changes now for the game against Millwall, and really it's just based on how a few players performed in the last game more than anything, particularly Peter Lynch. He's coming in on the right wing in place of Ferdi Kadoglu, who I feel just needs a bit of a break. It's just a way for me just to rotate a little bit of the squad, so not everyone has had a heavy amount of matches recently. In that sense, that's why Valentin will be starting. He can play roughly about 75 minutes, hopefully. Catchy will be on the bench. I was considering resting Mengi as well, but I just thought he's performed well recently, so give him a bit more of a run in the team and just see how he performs. If he doesn't perform, Quaresma can slot back in, but for now I like the fact that Mengi and Mavropanos will be, or rather they have a nice aerial threat going forward. Other than that, it's as you were with the rest of the starting 11, which is a nice feeling to have. It's good. I was thinking at the start of the season that there was a bit of a problem in terms of depth, but personally, I think the squad has shown it can perform. It's just all about confidence, obviously. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. It is all just based on confidence. That's what normal football is anyway. But regardless, it's just making sure that certain members of my team have that game time. Again, January's coming up, so the likes of Aarons, Hughes and Cantwell are not guarantees to still be here come the start of February. And for some reason, Verbruja and Mengi frustrated by that feedback. I have no idea. Lynch and Cantwell are uninterested. Oh, come on, guys. Put at least some effort into it today, please. Just seen, actually, Millwall playing quite defensively in their formation. I believe, then again, they're playing away from home and they're not doing well in the league. So I guess that kind of makes sense, question mark. Regardless, I just want us to do a professional job today. And there is Valentin. Oh, I thought he had actually scored there. Valentin, I don't remember him putting him on free kicks personally. But then again, if he's good at it, then why not, question mark. I'd rather Lynch have been on that instead. I mean, I might need to have a look at my indirect free kicks, just see if Lynch is actually on any of those lists. But we're coming up on half time and it's been a wee bit sloppy. Not really much has happened. I mean, we've had all the play, clearly. Millwall, I don't think have even got out of their half. Yeah, I'm not really happy. I'm not really happy. It's time for everyone to dig in and give everything we got. Yeah, it is time. Right, let's see if this works. Make a real difference for us tonight. Pump the fists. You have the ability to make a difference. Come on, boys. Let's go out there and make a difference. Go out there and get results. We want promotion this season. Valentin on the free kicks again. And this... Oh, it's just bobbling clear. I thought the keeper grabbed it. And I don't know who just put it wide. Let's see. Hit the early crosses. Let's see if that will actually make a difference. As we're approaching the hour mark, I'm looking what changes could we actually make. In fact, that's exactly what I am going to do. We might need a bit of flair from Senor Ferdy over here. Lynch is someone who I feel can make a difference. Do you know what? We're going to put Ferdy on the right anyway. Lynch can go up front as the advance forward. And we'll see if that just helps out. I'm going to demand more from this squad of players. And that's fired up more of them. One of them is pressured by the feedback. Valentin is actually going to come off. He can only do 75 minutes anyway. So Kachi, who's apprehensive apparently. Interesting. I'm going to pump the fists and say I have faith in you, and that has done absolutely sod all. I think we've... You know what? Just realised we can go attacking. I don't know. I feel like we were missing out on something here. And there is finally a highlight, albeit it's currently with Millwall. Mengi, Campwell, driving the ball forwards. Don't just shoot. Lynch. Unfortunately, he just shot. It's almost like we're not getting enough players forward at the moment. As Millwall trying to launch a little counter-attack, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately, fortunately for us. Come on, Craig, wake up. I'm in charge of Norwich here. We're looking for 3 points. Willock. See if we can get this ball forward quickly. We need to draw them out more than anything. There is Kachi. There is Lynch with his 11th goal of the season. Super sub from Kachi. Lovely, lovely stuff. He carries on his great form as of late. And it is Norwich 1, Millwall 0 with 83 minutes gone. You have to kind of wonder here, what are Millwall going to do? We're going to lower it to positive, and that's what they're going to try and do. Oh, just saved by Brugge there from a well done free kick. And I am going to make a change. It's a bit late in the day, but it's just something to reinforce the midfield a little bit. Davenport is going to come on for Hughes, just to shore up the midfield just a little bit. Let's just lower the line a tad, and we're just literally trying to waste as much time as is humanly possible. That should just about see us over the line. It is a narrow 1-0 win, but regardless, we did make that breakthrough just in time. 3 crucial points in our bid for promotion. It's results like that, to be fair, that are going to be more common probably as we start to hit the second half of the season, and we continue to stay top. I believe Bournemouth did win. Yeah, they beat bottom side Bristol Rovers. No real surprises there. I think Watford lost again. Yeah, Watford lost to Preston, so they're really in bad form. I think that's 4 defeats in their last 5, and we have to take advantage of that by staying as far ahead as is humanly possible. Right, I am going to play through the rest of December into January. At the moment, I'm thinking come back maybe around the beginning of February. Hopefully we'll still have all our best players here, although I'm not so sure what the chances of that are. But regardless, it's just about keeping our squad as strong as possible as we hit the second half of the season. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like down below and click subscribe for more Football Manager content. I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Make sure to stay safe out there, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the weekend.